everybody. It's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. And I'm very pleased to have with me today Patrick Sheehan, who is the Vice President of Channel Development at Intermedia. Patrick, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Doug. Appreciate it. Good to talk to you again.
Nice seeing you. So, we're entering into that second part of the year. We're a little bit past Enterprise Connect and Channel Partner and a lot of the sort of the early year show events. We're heading into the rest of the year. And, we're going to be talking today about Intermedia as being more than a platform. Intermedia's formula for service provider success. So everyone should stay put and listen to this. I think there's some really interesting ideas up ahead. But Patrick, could you just tell us quickly about yourself and Intermedia?
Sure. So I've been in the telecom space for over 30 years now. I stopped counting at 30 years. I have a background in engineering and operations and sales management, and then channel development specifically over the past 15 years or so. Joined Intermedia about 5.5 years ago. I helped lead our routes to market strategy, working with various business leaders across Intermedia. Intermedia's got a proprietary platform where we're really taking to market, a modern AI-powered UCaaS and CCaaS and data archiving or data lake solution, in addition to a host of Microsoft 365 products that we deliver to our partners. Intermedia is also a large Microsoft CSP. As most folks would know us from many years ago. We've been around for almost 30 years now. We've always been a partner-first organization, so we are focused primarily on providing white label UCaaS and CCaaS through our partners, including service providers. Over 90%, almost 95% of our sales come through our partners. We're definitely a partner-first organization. I think that defines it. Over the past couple of years, and why we're talking today, is really talking about what we've done is we've expanded our offering specifically to help service providers address the challenges they're having in the market, allowing them to maintain their brand, leverage their PSTN network. It's a huge opportunity for service providers to drive meaningful revenue growth for years to come if they choose the right partner.
So let's talk about the SPs. They're facing challenges. What are they?
Well, there are definitely a lot of things are changing rapidly in their space. I guess when we talk about the top of the business and the challenges they're having, particularly as it relates to voice communications or unified communications as a service, not just voice now. You think about at the tip of the spear, the ability to generate pipeline, their struggle to have strong win rates for new customer acquisition, the ability to keep the customers they have, so customer retention is a challenge, and ARPU is declining. So some service providers we talk to think it's just the voice market, but it actually isn't. So the challenges that they're having are a result of largely first not having a competitive product. Customers' expectations have changed over the past few years and are definitely changing rapidly now, and there's significant competitive pressure from innovative over-the-top providers that are creating some competitive challenge and high churn for service providers. Whether it's the lack of innovation of the legacy platforms that service providers have built their business on, that lack of innovation has increased the churn of customers. And churn, I mentioned churn pretty early on because that's a big headwind when it comes to your revenue growth. When you combine low win rates on net new customer acquisition and a high churn rate, that's a pretty big headwind for revenue growth, which obviously is what service providers, all companies are focused on. This gets more impactful now when you think about innovation and having competitive products. We've got AI is in everything. We were just talking about that a little bit ago. And it only exists in cloud-native solutions, so that's going to continue increasing the pressure to remain competitive in the market. And also with Teams, just while we're talking about product, Microsoft Teams is certainly dominant in the marketplace, and service providers are struggling to really monetize that in a meaningful way for their business and provide a compelling solution to their customers. So when that's the product, then we look at marketing effectiveness. the fact that 75% of business-to-business customers, decision makers, are really completing their decision process before they actually engage with a sales team. The market's very congested in this space, and buyers really need to understand the return on investment, the real value and impact of their business, not just technology and features, speeds and feeds, if you will. So the ability to effectively market to existing and net new customers is certainly something that can be challenging in this space without the right tools and content and everything that goes along with that, a strategy. Taking that down the next layer to the sales capability for the sales teams themselves. They've got to continuously evolve, and service providers need to make sure that their sales teams are enabled and armed to consult with potential customers and existing customers. So it's really that solution sales versus selling features, speeds, and feeds. So that's kind of on the tip of the spear on driving sales growth and minimizing churn. You flip kind of to the other side of the room, if you will, and you think about the network and engineering challenges. So the costs and human resources to maintain existing platforms, find new technical talent that have the experience they need is becoming more challenging in the space. There's a lot of turbulence in the traditional vendor ecosystem that further exacerbates that problem. And when you combine some of the things I was talking about a moment ago with that, if you think about the number of customers you have on your platform, as that declines, then so does your actual operating margin. So that's pretty meaningful to the business. And really now, service providers are in a position where they've got to pivot quickly. They've got to ensure they've got a good partner that can help them succeed in the long term. It's a long-term decision. And that means you've got to have a partner with an innovative roadmap for years to come, great, powerful sales and marketing enablement, increasing operational efficiency, and all the while ensuring that they're able to deliver a high level of support, customer satisfaction.
Well, let's just talk about that then. What are you guys at Intermedia basically saying to the SPs in terms of filling these positions, filling these needs?
So yeah, the partners. So we've got we've got a lot of service providers today that partner with us, and what we provide them from a partnership perspective, a benefit for them is first to getting started. So we minimize risk. There's no risk in starting with Intermedia, and one of the first elements of that is the fact that we don't have long-term contract minimum commitments. Whether you sell or not, that's a concept that benefits the vendor more than the partner. So we're a month-to-month contract partner. So it's a success-based model. We're both in it to win and succeed together, and you're not locked into some MR commitment whether you sell or not. Partners also appreciate that they can leverage their own brand. So we do provide a white label UCaaS CCaaS solution for them. So it's really important for the service provider, their business valuation, that they maintain their brand and leverage that moving forward. So there's no reason for them to sacrifice that. The flexibility to use their own network or not. So we offer that flexibility. In most cases, the service providers, they want to leverage that same network infrastructure, their PSTN footprint. Maybe they're in an area where they can't port numbers out, so they can leverage that network, or they can use our national PSTN network if they desire. We talked earlier about the pace of innovation. So that's something that's accelerating rapidly today. So that's very difficult for a service provider to do themselves. They really got to look to a partner who has an innovative roadmap and is delivering and accelerating that innovation. So Intermedia, we own the whole tech stack. We've got all the technology, the platform itself for all the UCaaS, CCaaS, the management, the back end of it. We've got a very strong roadmap, and that's more critical now than ever with the significant shifts in AI. The platform itself, the kind of the back end operations, is really built for operational efficiency, so that they can profitably deploy and support customers with an award-winning competitive solution that's easy to sell and beat the over-the-top competitors. This isn't something that's new to Intermedia. We've been doing this for years with MSPs and VARs and service providers. Now we're just increasing the focus on that today. When it comes to the platform itself, just a couple examples I want to highlight that are aligned with the trends and what customers are expecting is having unified communications and CCaaS in a single user interface, a single platform. They're really not looking for point solutions. They're really trying to consolidate everything to simplify things for their business and their users. So having that combined with our business intelligence archiving underpinning that platform is really a critical element of our AI strategy. As we all know, AI is no good unless it has data to actually be able to function. So we're really unique in the space that we're doing all of those things together with this data lake underpinning our UCaaS CCaaS platform. Another element of that on the product side is the fact that we have just announced recently an industry first in the space where we've delivered a really compelling Microsoft Teams integration. We've embedded our platform, our solution into the Teams experience for the end customer. So it gives service providers an instant, compelling, profitable Microsoft Teams practice. It's more profitable than some of the other options out there. It's certainly more compelling from a user experience, ease of use, reliability, things like that. And the service providers, while we're talking about Microsoft Teams, they can even buy the Microsoft licenses from us if they wish. As mentioned, we are Microsoft CSP, so they can really get everything they need from a single vendor. Pretty compelling. The operational efficiencies I mentioned earlier, they can deploy a customer in minutes, with our solution. We provide pre-configured plug-and-play phones. It can be shipped directly to the end customers. They don't have to warehouse phones. Those are some pretty meaningful elements of operational efficiency. But literally the ability to manage the solution as if it was in your own data center or was your own solution, those benefits, but much more efficient and the ability to move quickly. We provide the best support to our partners, and this isn't everybody says they provide good support, but so we've got great support and a 5 nines financially backed SLA. So that's really important. We put our money where our mouth is, not locking people into contracts, making sure that we're earning the business every day, every month. We've got a JD Power certification for technical support. We've had this for 8 years. We're the only SaaS provider that has it. You can go on the TSIA website or JD Power website and find that. You'll see Intermedia on there. And what that means is we're delivering the highest customer satisfaction ratings, in this industry, or the SaaS industry. So we're making the partners look good because we're supporting the partners so they know they can deliver a high level of support to their customers. And that support also includes things like migration support. So if they want to deprecate some infrastructure or move users or have customers that are churn risk, we help them migrate to the platform. So a whole lot of support that goes in there when it comes to technical elements of support. On the kind of the front side of the house, when you think about sales support, we provide really an unparalleled level of sales support to help them win those large or complex deals, especially critical when it comes to contact center. And that's a very business-oriented solution sales environment, and we've got a great team of experts that engages with that service provider to help them win those deals together. And marketing support to drive demand. I mentioned the challenges some of the service providers are having earlier about the ability to drive demand in the marketplace. So we provide compelling content, pre-built campaigns, vertical campaigns, use cases, everything you need to really provide business-centric, compelling content. And we have channel marketing experts that work with our service providers to consult with them and make sure that they can drive demand for their business. We really look at this as a true partnership. We call it the 360-degree approach to service provider success, and nobody in the market does it like Intermedia does.
So, you just mentioned there's literally a 360-degree approach to basically making the SPs more successful. It looks like that was quite a number of things from, very detailed support on specific products like Microsoft, all the way down to curated marketing, migration support, and so on. But Patrick, how do you get started? Do you already need to be a partner with Intermedia to get going?
It's a great question, and it's one of the easiest things to talk about. These are big decisions for service providers, and historically, when they've had to go launch a new product or a new platform, that's a big undertaking. It can take a year or more once you've made the decision and signed the dotted line just to get started, right?
Right.
So it's so first and foremost, it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything. There's no upfront CapEx costs to the service provider to get started. They can use that CapEx for other infrastructure intensive investments that they need to make for their broadband and fiber built outs. Those things are very CapEx intensive, and it's an area of growth for them. So they can protect their CapEx and use it for that, and not have to worry about any upfront costs to get started with Intermedia. So that's one thing. The second thing would be, this doesn't have to take a year to do. The time to market for a service provider with Intermedia is extremely rapid. We've had service providers that have started with us and we're deploying customers on the platform within weeks, not months, and certainly not a year. So time to market is important when you're launching something new, and also speaks to the level of effort required to make that launch. So it's not hard. We really make it as easy as possible, and that is largely due to not just the platform and the operational efficiency, how easy we make it, but our robust onboarding process and team. We have a whole team of folks that works with that service provider, guides them, and completely enables them for everything they need to do to launch a new offering. So we've got a service provider enablement manager that leads the initiative, runs a well-defined methodology project plan. We cover all the elements for productizing, the product management, operations, billing, enablement, network connectivity if they're using their own network. So we have bring your own carrier, getting that network connection in place. But also, it's not just about the productization. It's not just about the things that are behind the scenes. It's about ensuring that their sales teams are fully enabled and excited. We will get out in front of the sales teams, do an on-site sales kickoff, engage our marketing resources. When they're ready to do all of that, we've got, I mentioned earlier, our marketing enablement managers that are going to work with them, leverage all the content we have, guide them on the right campaigns to launch first, really do discovery, make sure they're targeting right verticals if they have specific verticals. So that kind of speaks to that 360-degree approach that I mentioned earlier, where we're covering everything from productization to operational and technical enablement, and really critically, sales and marketing training and enablement is unparalleled, and ultimately that's what's going to help them drive revenue growth very quickly in the market. We are 100% focused on delivering leading edge SMB and mid-market business communication solutions. That's all we do, and that's where all of our investments are being invested within our organization for partner success. We're not distracted by other types of technologies or anything else. This is all we do, and we want to do it with our partners and our service providers, and we do it very well.
Patrick, I want to thank you for joining me today. This has been what better way to sort of walk into the new quarter and the rest of the year than a message of, hey, it's easier than you may have imagined to get a Microsoft practice going. You don't have to tie up a lot of assets. You can give it a try month to month, and yet you get a lot of support.
That's it. It's all success-based model, 100%. Let's succeed together.
Well, I think it's certainly worth our readers at least thinking about it, kicking the tires, and finding out more. Where can people learn more?
Well, they can certainly visit our website, intermedia.com. We've got under our partners, there's service providers under there. Fill out, hey, I'd like some more information. And I've got a team of folks who will reach out to them, and we can provide them an overview of everything they need to know, answer questions, learn more about their business, and specifically how we can help them, and go from there.
Patrick, I really want to thank you for joining me today. This has been very interesting. I hope to find out more about this program later.
Look forward to talking to you again, Doug. Thanks for the time.